Good evening. How are you? I'm doing a stand-in talk not because of the weather where I live, but because I'm on a ship and I'm heading north off the East Coast shores. And I thought there were a couple of things that we should talk about, even while I'm supposedly resting and retreating, and giving Holly a chance to get out because of her condition that is, being careful to maintain her immunosuppression state and have a fruitful life. We have to be very careful when we do go out. It doesn't mean we're perfect either. But the thing that I thought was worth mention was the off-the-air decision to remove Jimmy Kimmel, who is a comedian, not a journalist, and who basically talked about how the shooter in the case was one of them. One of the ironies, I don't know if you consider it humor, but it certainly is satire. And I think it's factually supported. And America, when we got a hero and we got a political angle, then truth and decorum be damned. And some might say the truth and decorum failed on Jimmy Kimmel's part. I don't see it that way, and I think others have said that now. And how should we settle this thing? Well, it could have been settled, it seems to me, with some conversation if people were serious about it. But Trump and his FCC chair, Carr, and others have been hitting at Kimmel because he's an effective communicator, and his humor has stuck home where anchors on different shows just don't carry the weight. And he has. And he's not the only quote, comedian who does that. We have political comedians who are quite insightful and pull together facts that are astonishing and carefully curated and persuasive. And Trump just can't stand to that. Now, what are they prepared to settle this thing? Well, hold your horses. What they think is that Kimmel should apologize, number one, for what he did, okay? Now, I don't know, you could get into a conversation without a non-apology, a statement, a discussion, whatever. None of that is going to happen. The second thing is that they want him not just to apologize, but they want him to pay funds to the Kirk family. And then, in addition, they want him to have a seance with them to uphold standards. Now, I'm not one to speak for Jimmy Kimmel, obviously, especially when it comes to litigation and the burden that bears, financial, psychological, and every other way. Kimmel could walk away from this and have a very wonderful life and write a book and so forth. I don't know what he will do. I could understand if he did that. But if he decided to fight this case, he'd have a good argument. Of course, the First Amendment, but also he has a contract, and the contract probably provides that there are only certain things for which they can fire him, and I'm not sure this is one of them. And I'm sure that we could get experts to come in and say it was fair comment. Well, get over it. You're the ones who are overeager and stretching out the truth here. It hurts me that while we're having this disagreement, Kamala is out there talking about what was wrong with her election. I just think that's wrong. And I mean, it's her. She can do it, but she shouldn't expect me or anybody else to vote for her. And that's not an element of coercion. That's an element of choice. And my view is Kipling said it. If you make one heap of all your winnings and lose it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start at your beginning, and then implicitly is then you will be a man, woman, my son, my daughter. And that I think is how you have to bear yourself to be a leader. You have to take responsibility for what happened. You have to take responsibility for being quiet. So if our candidates for a higher office expect us to support them, they better get on this case, which is about censorship and the First Amendment, and it's more important, frankly, than their individual candidacy for office unless they're actually dealing with these problems. I understand Jon Stewart is doing a show maybe today or tomorrow, and it's going to be a comment on this. I hope I'll be able to see that. And there's a lot more going on, but that's all I got for now. And I'll take a turn around a portion of the ship, and I'll talk to you maybe tomorrow. Bye-bye.